Has the media had a major impact on and how Māori world is perceived? Well, absolutely. No doubt about that.
Māori media and Pākehā media have both had a huge influence.
I think there's been some good influences, and there has been some really bad ones too because of the media.
I don't think we could say that we live in this world if we haven't been affected by media. And whether it be print media, whether it be films, movies, documentaries, of course we've been affected.
Media that includes film, storybooks, storytelling, poetry, art, carving, weaving, stonework, everything. That for me is media because it's an interface for communication and a way of influencing others how to read your world. It's a form of literacy. So I believe, yes, it does have an influence on kaupapa Māori. It just depends on what angle you choose to view it from.
Media isn't new to our tūpuna. Kaya tātou nā newspaper Māori o Muara. We've got the old Māori newspapers. You've got Te Puke ki Hikurangi, which was printed in the 1800s. You've got Te Pihoihoi Moke Moke, same thing, 1800s. You've got Te Hokioi, which was the Kingitanga publication. Te Paki o Matariki, another Kingitanga publication, all going back to the 1800s. So media isn't a new thing, and neither is propaganda.
So they can be a friend, and we try and keep them as close as possible so they do get the stories. On the opposite side, they can be troublesome because they don't actually present a Māori world view from a Māori world context in an appropriate way. And so that is why many Māori are cautious of the media, because they know that those stories can be misinterpreted or otherwise.
It does give New Zealanders an unfair and unbalanced view of a Māori way of being.
There was a saying made in the mid-1860s, 1870s by Wiremu Tāmihanatara PPP, who raised or crowned, anointed the first Māori king for Te Tau Te Whirowhiro. And the saying was this: ka pohia te tuhirau ki te re huiringa. Ne? Ko te tuhirau is another name for a pen, he pene. Yeah. He tuhirau. Ko te tuhirau he rau ne, it's a feather. So that was one of their words for a pen, he tuhirau. Grasp the quill with the quivering hand. Ne? Because he could see the positives in reading and writing. Ne? He could also see the negatives. Ne? Here's an example. A karakia, it depends on who is using the karakia. Like this thing here, it's like my mouth. I can use it to say good things about you, or I can use it to say bad things about you or to you. It's the same with media. Ne? We see in the news every day. Ne? One on a Tuesday somebody's good, on a Wednesday, they're on the front page, they found something fraudulent. Ne? So the media can be used for good and positive. He paikio. Now I return to that saying by Wiremu Tarapipipi, tawa tongikura, ka pohia te tuhirau ki te re huiringa. Ne? He saw the positive in writing. He saw that reading and writing was the future. Ne? I nai nei pia, ko pene ki tātou. Although I still prefer a pen, because I get the flow on better when I'm writing. No reira he pai ki au, ngā mahi pāpāho, ngā mahi pūrongo. Look at Māori TV. Look at where we've come. Look at Te Karere. If I remember the old days, Koha, and all those shows. Ne? Look at us now, we're sitting in my house, I've got 4 cameras on me.
For us as a generation, we've grown up around technology that has influenced a lot of our things. Like if you were to go into schools now, everything is done through data projector, through computers, I think, which is a form of media.
Māori media, there is a difference. I have a perception that the Māori media is more encompassing and more balanced in their stories. They celebrate Māori as well as things that need talking about. But in terms of mainstream media, you could see an obvious difference, and I have grown up with the Pākehā media really going out of its way to show Māori in a not so good light. Far too often are we overrepresented in situations where we shouldn't be. So when we talk about Māori being overrepresented in prisons, being overrepresented in failure at schools, and overrepresented in the unemployment, it seems that the Pākehā media go out of their way to actually make those statistics relevant. They may be right in that, but all too often I see the exclusion of other groups being mentioned where they are overrepresented, and yet where there's initiatives like the Iron Māori, which has a huge following, and both in health statistics and looks at people's aspirations and their inspirational stories. Iron Māori can't make it to the main news. Oh, it makes it to the Māori news. Absolutely wonderful. The Pākehā media picks its moments. They can say it's because the majority of people are not Māori, but at the end of the day, if you want inspirational stories, just last weekend, they could have gone to Iron Māori to talk about an inspirational story with Kuia Kaumātua doing that event, and with people who probably shouldn't be doing it because they're too big, but they did it. So I've got not much positive to say about media. When media wants a good story, Māori things are missing.
One of the things that I try to do whenever I'm away with the media is to translate for them. The trouble is that because most of them are not people who are speakers of Māori, and a lot of the debate takes place on the welcome to the marae, they actually miss it. They miss the beat, they miss the whole context, they miss the content because they are not speakers. Therefore, I try to, in my best I can, give them an overview to help them so they understand what's going on, because all they do is hear the sound bites in English. They don't get the sound bites in Māori, when in fact that's where the real debate happens.
I think Māori television has helped, in the way of media, because they have some very, very good things on Māori TV. And a lot of my Pākehā friends have said to me they prefer to watch Māori TV than anything else, yeah, because it's more positive.
For so long now, some things that have been wrong have now become right. And it's through the media, how it's portrayed in the media, that everything that comes through TV is considered to be right. And that's how it's influenced a lot of our tamariki and the way that we think now.
And I think a lot of it is for the benefit of Māori, for the good of Māori. Where can you get the reo? And it's there, you don't, for those who can't move out of their homes, it's there. If they've got a TV, it's right there in their hands.
And for me, the negative, well, if we call it the negativity that we hear or watch on TV, and can be turned to a positive, whakaoho I a tātou, so that we don't become complacent.
So from a positive perspective, media has provided a gateway for a lot of non-Māori to come to a better understanding of who we are, and I celebrate Māori television and our Māori radio stations for really nailing that. It has provided another level of understanding around what kaupapa means and what it means to be Māori for non-Māori. For Māori, from a positive perspective, I guess it's awesome to see our kids celebrated on the screen, through kapahaka, through their cooking shows, through the rangatahi programs, and seeing good role modelling, to see wonderful current affairs shows that are Māori driven is amazing. There could be a lot more done politically, I believe, through Māori media.
So I'd like to think of the way we've been affected positively, and we look at our programs that teach te reo. Our programs are historical programs that look at our history, our tūpuna. I look at also what our young people are achieving today. Yes, on the negative side or on the downside, there are times when we've been influenced by people's perceptions on what Māori are trying to achieve. However, I believe we can overcome that.